Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today, we'll continue the deeply emotional love story of CEO James and the resilient girl Diep. As you may remember from the previous episode, after all the turmoil and misunderstandings, James and Diep finally found their way back to each other. That tearful reunion, amidst the aching pull of longing, touched the hearts of so many. WHO have followed their journey. In today's episode, we step into a new chapter of their story, one no longer marked by confusion, separation, or pain, but by peace and warmth, hard-earned through the sacrifices of their youth. Life after reuniting isn't always a fairy tale, but it is in the simple, sincere moments, a glance, a smile, a gentle touch, that their love reveals its quiet strength. Every little gesture now carries the weight of healing and hope, as to once broken hearts try to build something whole again. James is no longer the cold, overworked CEO who once neglected the emotions of the one beside him. He has learned to listen, to cherish, and to protect Diep with the utmost sincerity. And Diep, after so many lonely days spent braving the storms of life, has finally returned to the place her heart never left. In her eyes, there's no more fear of abandonment, only trust, peace, and a deep, unwavering love for James. Today's episode will be a soft, heartfelt glimpse into life after the reunion. We'll see them tidying up their old room, cooking a simple meal together, sitting beneath the warm glow of a lamp, reminiscing about days gone by, laughing, crying, and dreaming of a future where distance will never again come between them. These quiet, seemingly ordinary moments speak louder than any grand gesture. They are living proof of a love that has endured and begun to bloom once more. So don't miss a single moment of today's video, because this isn't just James and Diep's love story. It's also a gentle reminder that with enough faith and sincerity, even hearts once lost to each other can find their way home again, at the right time, with the right person. After a long, peaceful night, perhaps the first after countless storms, Diep finally had a deep, uninterrupted sleep. No tossing, no nightmares, no more haunting howls of wind like the one that followed her through lonely nights on the road. She slept soundly, as if her body and soul were wrapped in an invisible blanket of protection. That sense of safety, that serenity, could only exist because she knew James was right there beside her. The morning light filtered gently through the sheer curtains, casting soft golden streaks on the wooden floor and brushing her skin like a tender hand trying to wake her with love. Diep stirred slightly and slowly opened her eyes. Everything in the room remained just as it was the night before, warm, familiar, and filled with affection. She turned over, expecting to see James still sleeping next to her, just like he used to, but he wasn't there. His pillow had been moved aside, the blanket neatly folded, leaving behind only a fading trace of warmth in the air. A tea first, a flicker of panic crossed her face, an instinctive reaction from someone who'd been left behind too many times before. But then a faint aroma drifted in from the kitchen, weaving its way through every corner of the house. The gentle scent of rice porridge, blended with the fragrance of sautéed scallions and a hint of warm ginger. She rose quietly, threw on a thin cardigan, let her bare feet touch the cool wooden floor, and walked down the stairs in silence. The scene that unfolded before her softened her heart completely. James, the man she loved, was standing by the stove, one hand holding a ladle, the other carefully tilting the pot to pour steaming porridge into small bowls. The morning sun lit up his face, highlighting his focused eyes, the slight press of his lips, the expression on his face, both serious and tender. James's mother sat at the table nearby, setting out small dishes of pickles and bowls with her slightly trembling hands, yet her smile radiated calm and kindness. She glanced at James, then turned and saw Diep standing quietly by the stairs. She gave a small nod, a nod that said everything. "You see, my dear, how much he's changed for you." It turned out that at dawn, long before the sky lit up, James had quietly gotten out of bed. He didn't wake her, he made no noise. He simply slipped on his jacket, grabbed his wallet, and drove into the misty early market. He handpicked every bunch of herbs, every piece of ginger, every stalk of green onion. He chose the exact type of rice his mother had told him would cook up soft and fragrant. He wasn't skilled in the kitchen, not at all. But this morning for Diep, the woman who had suffered so much because of him, he wanted to do something real. Something humble. Not grand gestures, not empty promises, just a small act that could speak volumes. Diep stepped into the kitchen, her eyes moistening. It wasn't because of the fragrant porridge, or the cozy kitchen, or the golden light painting a picture-perfect scene. It was because her heart had just been filled with something she hadn't felt in so long. The feeling of being truly deeply loved. She didn't say a word. She simply sat down next to James's mother. James turned around, caught her gaze, and smiled. In that look was an unspoken apology, a silent thank you, and more than anything, a vow from now on, I'll take care of you every morning, every day, and I'll never let you feel alone again. The three of them sat together at the small table. The steam from the hot porridge curled into the air, spoons clinked gently against bowls, and soft laughter filled the room, as James's mother fondly recalled the time he nearly burned a pot of rice while learning to cook. There was nothing lavish, nothing grand, but to Diep that breakfast felt like the most precious meal in the world. It wasn't just the start of a new day. It was the beginning of a new journey, one of healing, rebirth, and walking forward together. She looked at James and thought to herself, if a man can rise at dawn, go to the market, and learn to cook, just to make the woman he loves a bowl of warm porridge, then maybe, just maybe, she had chosen the right person to entrust her life to. After a long time pouring all his energy and focus into finding Diep, James had seemingly put everything else on hold. His work, his schedule, his business partners, even the projects still hanging in the balance. At that time only one thing mattered to him, finding the woman who had silently walked away, taking his heart with her as she left behind the pressures of his busy, high-stakes world. But now with Diep safely home, and slowly regaining her peace beside him, James knew it was time to return to the demands of his role. He couldn't let his employees, partners, or the farmers who relied on him suffer any further delays. That morning, after a warm breakfast with Diep and his mother, James had to leave earlier than usual. Backlogged timber orders, suspended agricultural contracts, and an industrial paint collaboration project, all were waiting on his approval. His office, untouched for weeks, welcomed him back with towering stacks of documents, back-to-back meetings, constantly ringing phones, and hundreds of emails awaiting his response. He understood he couldn't both stay by Diep's side all day and fulfill his responsibilities as a leader. Yet deep down, James didn't want to leave her home alone. Not when her emotional wounds were still so fresh, still so fragile, like calm water barely settled after a storm. So he had an idea. Before leaving the house, James quietly approached his mother. In his eyes was not only trust, but a silent plea full of affection. He whispered, I can't be with Diep all day today. But I know she needs to relax, to go out, to laugh again, to feel a bit of the carefree spirit she used to have. Mom, could you take her out for me? His mother looked at him surprised but deeply moved. As a woman who had lived through many seasons of life, she knew how rare it was for a man like James, stoic, reserved, always work-focused, to put a woman above everything else. And if he could do that, the love he held must be profound. Without hesitation, she nodded. In her heart, Diep had long since become like a daughter to her, a polite, thoughtful young woman. Gentle but not weak. Sincere and full of quiet strength. A girl she truly believed would bring peace and warmth into her son's life. When James left, Diep had no idea what was waiting for her on the other side of the bedroom door. Not until James's mother entered holding two dresses. One, a soft sky blue. The other, a gentle cream, and smiled warmly. "Let's go for a stroll today, just the two of us. Let's say I'm taking you out in James's place." Diep was startled, then gently smiled, touched and a little shy. She had never imagined having a second mother, someone not bound by blood, yet so kind and full of grace. They picked outfits together. Diep was still a bit awkward, but clearly happy. James's mother, ever gentle, chose the blue dress for her and had the driver prepare the car. It wasn't a far trip, but it was a day just for the two of them. Two women, two hearts that had both weathered pain, now sitting side by side like kindred companions. In the car, they chatted about everything from food preferences to James's childhood and even the little dreams Diep once held. The morning city wasn't too crowded. Sunlight stretched lazily across tiled roads, trees rustled softly in the breeze. The sleek black car glided down the boulevard, and inside it, Diep sat quietly beside James's mother, a simple journey, unannounced but one that stirred her heart with indescribable emotions. When the car stopped in front of a grand shopping center, Diep was taken aback. Tall glass windows shimmered in the light. Designer stores lined the entrance, and every step echoed through the luxurious space. She never imagined walking into a place like this, let alone being gently let in. "Come on, sweetheart." James's mother smiled, reaching for Diep's hand with such natural affection, as if she'd held it 100 times before. Diep hesitated for just a moment, then followed. The shop attendants turned their heads, not just for the older woman's poised presence, but for the quiet grace in the young woman beside her. They walked together, aisle by aisle. James's mother didn't rush. She listened to every little preference. Diep shared her favorite colors, styles, and what made her feel most comfortable. Then she began to pick. A white dress with a lace neckline. A pastel blue midi dress that was soft yet refined. A long wool coat in fine fabric. She didn't ask the price. She didn't weigh the cost. Because to her, this wasn't shopping. It was a way to give love, to make up for all that had been lost. Diep stood there, overwhelmed and a little uneasy. Everything she picked was expensive. She wasn't used to being pampered like this, let alone being cared for like a child. She whispered, "These are all too much. I really don't need them." But James's mother just smiled. The way only a mother could. "Sweetheart, choose what makes you happy. This brings me joy too, don't overthink it. You've already been through so much. Today, I just want to see you smile." And in that moment, Diep knew this wasn't just politeness. It was pure sincerity. From a mother who had seen the sorrow in her eyes, the unhealed wounds in her heart. And now she only wanted to be there. For Diep to be a safe place to lean on. After choosing a few lovely pieces, they left the store and headed to a cozy restaurant on a high floor, overlooking the city. The space was quiet, filled with the aroma of food and warm, golden lighting that made Diep feel like she had stepped into a rare dream. James's mother let Diep pick the dishes, adding a few she hadn't tried before, and even reminded the staff to make them light, just in case. While waiting, she shared childhood stories of James, how he once got scolded and ran to cry behind the house. Tiny memories only a mother would hold. Diep laughed, really laughed for the first time in days. Her voice was soft and clear like a bell. When the food arrived, she didn't have to lift a finger. James's mother gently placed dishes into her bowl, picked up the bones from the fish, wiped the tablecloth when a corner got messy. Every small gesture stirred something deep in Diep's heart. She didn't know how to respond. She could only sit there, eyes welling up. Finally, she couldn't keep it inside any longer. Diep put down her chopsticks and softly said, The necklace and earrings you gave me, they were stolen when I was walking back. I'm so sorry I couldn't protect them." There was a pause. James's mother reached out and placed her hand over Diep's. No blame. No shock. Just quiet understanding. "Sweetheart, no one wanted those things to happen. Don't blame yourself. Those were just objects. What matters is that you came back safely alive, sitting here with me. It's more precious than anything. If you remember those gifts, tell them they've brought bad luck with them. So from now on, things will only get better." Diep was overwhelmed. This woman wasn't just James's mother. She was the first person since Diep's own mother who made her feel like a daughter again. To feel loved without needing to earn it. She lowered her head, saying nothing more. But in her heart she silently promised. No matter what happens, she would never leave this woman. She would care for her, cherish her, just like the way she was being embraced now. And in that warm golden space, the laughter of two women echoed gently, blending with the aroma of the meal, the soft sunlight pouring through the windows. Together they painted a tender portrait of a family, slowly healing, through the simplest, yet most powerful things, sincerity and love. That evening, after a long day exploring the city, James's mother and Diep returned home just as dusk began to settle. The air had cooled, the streetlights were flickering on one by one, and the city slowly quieted into the hush of night. Inside the car, Diep was still cheerfully recounting their adventures, from the dress James's mother had chosen for her to the little dessert they shared in a hidden cafe tucked away in a peaceful alley. Listening to her adopted daughter chatter excitedly, James's mother felt a gentle warmth rising in her chest. It had been a long time since James was young that she had felt this again. The joy of spending the day with a daughter, choosing clothes, trying food, and hearing a young woman speak of her world with such delight. As the car pulled up to the house, Diep stepped out, expecting to see it dark like that morning. But no, the kitchen window glowed brightly, and within it, she could see the silhouette of a man moving around the stove. Her heart skipped a beat. It was James. He had left work early, though tasks had piled up during his absence. As soon as he'd handled the most urgent matters, he came home. Not to rest, not to wait for Diep and his mother to return before dinner, but to step once again into the kitchen. Cooking was something he never imagined he'd grow comfortable with, and yet now it had become his most sincere, simple way of showing love. When Diep and his mother stepped inside, the warm, familiar aroma of home-cooked food filled the air. On the table were a steaming bowl of soup, a dish of caramelized fish, glistening in golden brown sauce, a plate of boiled greens, and a small bowl of ginger fish sauce. James, in a rolled-up white shirt, still had droplets of water clinging to his sleeves. He looked up as they walked in, eyes filled with anticipation. "You're back just in time," he smiled gently, voice low and warm. "Dinner's still hot." James's mother set down her purse and gave his shoulder a light pat. "You did well, son. Tonight I've been spoiled," she said with quiet pride. Not just for the meal, but for the man her once cold son had become, now learning to express love through action. Diep slowly approached the table, eyes softening as she took in the dishes he had carefully prepared. She said nothing, simply sat down and let her gaze linger on the food, her heart swelling. She didn't need grand feasts or flowery words, just a meal like this beside the man she loved. Beside a second mother who embraced her, and that alone was enough to call this happiness. During dinner, amid the gentle clinking of spoons and soft conversation, James and Diep exchanged looks filled with quiet understanding. Then James was the first to speak. "Mom, we've talked a lot about everything ahead. I want to be with Diep not just now, but in the future. We want to get married. After that, I'll rearrange my work so we can move back to the farm. That place still needs her. The animals still miss her scent, and I know she misses that peaceful life too." Diep looked at him wide-eyed and moved. Her eyes glistened not from sorrow but from joy, a quiet, full kind of happiness. James didn't ask if she agreed. He didn't need to. They had been through enough to understand one thing. What mattered most was being together. James's mother set her bowl down and smiled. No tears, no surprise. Just a calm acceptance that felt long awaited. "I've been waiting to hear you say that. Don't make me wait too long for the wedding." All three laughed. It was the laughter of people who had tasted loss and now cherished reunion. The laughter of those who had been separated and now held tightly to each shared moment. That dinner unfolded beneath the soft glow of the dining room, light, warm as the love shared between them. Outside, the night breeze rustled the treetops, while inside the little house, laughter gently rose like the first notes of a symphony, marking the beginning of the joyful days to come. That night beneath the roof, now glowing once more with the warm light of love and family, Diep finally fell into a deep, gentle and peaceful sleep. No more fear. No more silent nightmares gnawing at her heart in the darkness. Only the sound of the wind brushing through the trees, the steady rhythm of a heart slowly healing, and the soft breaths of a girl who had once been crushed by life, now finding her safe harbor once again. Diep slept without dreams, without stirring. For the first time in so long, she felt truly alive, not just surviving, but living. Living as a daughter, as a woman who is loved, not someone who has to brace herself to face the world alone. The modest little room, the warm dinner, James's gentle touch, and the tender look from a second mother. All of it stitched together the broken pieces of her heart slowly, softly. And dear friends, if you've walked this tear-filled journey alongside Diep, would you leave her a blessing below? A prayer for peace to remain with her always. A hope that happiness from now on will no longer feel so fragile. Because all of us, you, me, and her, deserve a place to return to. A soul to trust and a night's sleep so safe. We no longer need to dream of something better. Don't forget to stay with us for the next episode. Because Diep and James's story isn't over yet. Ahead there are still surprises, decisions and life-changing turns waiting to unfold. But one thing is certain, from now on she will never walk alone again. See you in the next chapter.
Hello everyone. I just finished the next episode of the video. Lyphucan CEO James Asia everyone. In this episode, it will be all moments of joy and happiness of James and IP, because people can also know that James and IP went through some time, quite long distance from each other, and now it is happy time they spent together. And I hope that, well, like everyone else, I hope that this moment of peace will last a long time. Moaning and aphids, you and I can be together, right? The video ends here, and in the next episode, there's going to be a lot of good stuff, and more attractive. Then I hope that people will continue to watch and advocate for his channel in the next episode. Okay everyone, and if people love the channel as much as they love the game, I hope everyone will subscribe to the channel, and then the alarm goes off so that I miss any videos that my channel has. And leave a comment to bless Cho Dan and IP. Everybody, see you all in the next videos.